What was our actual intro? It's been a while.
We had an intro?
We did know it was wait, we had to go find it. It's been a while. G'day. We're like
G'day. Welcome to the Bloody Hell podcast. I'm Cass and this is Kahlee. And Kahlee, what are we talking about today?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yes.
Did I say that right?
You said Five Nights at Freddy's.
I said it right.
You said it. You said it.
FNAF?
This one's a bit of a special one. We haven't actually seen the movie yet, and we're about to watch it. So we thought we'd do a quick introduction, a little catch up, because it's been a while.
It's been like 2 years.
That counts as a while.
24 months.
Shut up.
If we had a child, they would be like technically in kindy.
Yeah, we had cats instead.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to catch up for a bit, but then after that, we're going to talk about FNAF because I'm familiar with the games and the books, and I was a bit of a FNAF fanatic.
Fanastic.
I was a bit of a FNAF lore person about 50 MatPat videos ago, and Kahlee here.
I know of Matthew Lillard and that he's in it, and that is about the extent, and it's like the banana splits.
And tell me, Kahlee, what game did you compare FNAF to?
Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
I was very I got a look. I'm getting a look. I'm getting a look of what have you done?
I know, it's horror. You got the right genre.
Mm-hmm.
But let's catch up. What have we been up to? It's been years since we've done a video.
Oh gosh, I think it's just life. We bought a house in a really crappy housing market situation, but we did it.
We love a millennial story.
Oh, I will bask in my millennialness right now with my wine and my house and my payments and my lack of wine.
The lack of
at
disposable
home.
income now that we're mortgage slaves.
What else happened?
I got a new job.
We bought a caravan. That was fun.
You guys were renovating a caravan.
Trying to be a van lifer.
You guys tried to become van lifers without unlifing anyone.
No, it's been fun so far. No one's died yet.
Okay, so we both made a joke about that. Good, we're
Yep,
both going
yep,
to hell.
Yep,
Beep,
yep.
beep, all aboard the hell
already
bus.
there. Yep,
Yes.
yep. We have a 2-for-1 deal already while we get there for accommodation. Our timeshare is packed and ready to go.
We have a timeshare in hell. You know I'd never fall for that bullshit, but yeah, sure.
That's why it's hell. It's the best we could get.
We call that the bad place.
You never liked that show.
No, I never liked that show.
Your mum did though. Your mum and I loved it.
You love watching shows that I don't like, but my mum does.
So your mum and I just make you watch them, and you don't. You have that coming from both sides, being like, watch this crappy show.
Yeah. So it was The Good Place, The Santa Clarita Diet, and I think Schitt's Creek.
And Class of 07.
And Class of 07.
Class of 07.
I did not mind Class of 07.
Did you watch Class of 07?
I did. They made me watch it last time I visited them.
Thanks, Mum.
Yeah, we wanted to get this started a few months ago, and then I got the plague.
Oh, you got the plague, all right.
That's I got the plague.
That's how we got the timeshare in hell. She had to go there, sign the contract, and then come back from her deathbed.
I'm good. That was just really funny. I went to Games Week in Australia, and I went to PAX, and I came back with some nerd flu. Some unwashed nerd, probably me, got myself sick. And I was out for like a month and a half, and we were supposed to do Five Nights at Freddy's when it came out. Like, I was going to come back. You and I were going to go see the Taylor Swift concert movie.
Yes, we had tickets and everything.
Yeah.
Ditch me.
I'm sorry.
Rude.
I was dying. And then we were going to go see FNAF, and then, I couldn't go 5 minutes without coughing my lungs out. Probably would have still been the quietest one in the cinema.
Yeah, people are being nuts. I mean, everyone said like Taylor Swift fans are nuts. I think FNAF fans are probably up there with them.
Yeah, I agree with you there. FNAF fans, there's the fans, and then there's a different breed. And they get very attached. It's like their emotional attachment.
Their emotional
support game. A lot of fans like myself, we were introduced to FNAF thanks to Markiplier many years ago. I was in university when FNAF first came out, and I couldn't play it. I have it. I got it in a Humble Bundle once, so I have like the first 4 games. I don't do jump scares very well.
No, that's fair. It was a jump scary game, I'm assuming. From what I've like limited knowledge of what I know, it was a jump scare game. That's why I compared it to Phasmophobia, because that was my impression of jump scares.
Phasmophobia is more interactive because you can actually like explore things. Like you are your own person, like you are following around. And also Phasmophobia is multiplayer. Whereas Five Nights at Freddy's, the first 3 to 4 games, what was the fourth one? I can't remember.
Like
you were like this still image kind of thing that you panoramied from side to side. And one of the first game, so I would say horror, jump scare, resource management, because one big thing in all the games was conserving battery power. So you were a security guard, you came to this rip-off Chuck E. Cheese restaurant and you were a night guard, and you had to, well, in the first game and the second game, you just basically had to...
And the third game, and the fourth game,
the third game
and
was,
the fifth game.
Well, the third game was different. It was dilapidated and started becoming like more of a horror funhouse. And in the first two, so nothing really happens on the first night, but basically the rules of the game are, this place has animatronics, they're huge, and they don't turn them off at night or else they lock up and they become like unserviceable. They turn off, they just switch off, they jam up, they just stop working. It's more feasible to keep them on all night. They just let them roam, so these animatronics can roam through the restaurant. They fall and walk.
So they're not just like stuck on the
stage,
wall,
no,
like a Disneyland sort of thing. Like they're like,
no, they roam around. So
that.
like Chica the chicken, she is like she's all about the food, like she'll serve you pizza and all that kind of stuff, but then also they go up on stage and they play their songs. Fredbear, who was the main one, Freddy Fazbear, he's like your lead singer, your hey kids, let's
he's
party.
the guy on the logo.
He's the guy on the logo. He's the one, or the namesake of the whole restaurant.
Okay, yeah.
And there's Bonnie, the bunny, who is known as the most creepiest of them all. People can't explain it. Even Scott Cawthon, the original creator of the game, just says there's something about Bonnie that's terrifying. Ooh. And then there's Foxy the Fox, who is always out of order, and he lives in Pirates Cove. Now, in the first game, or most of the games, you have security cameras to watch over, and you have 2 doors on either side of you, and your general running lights and fan and all that kind of stuff. This all uses battery power, and your resource management is you got to last from midnight to like 5 a.m. without wasting all your battery. Closing all your doors will absolutely annihilate your battery, and you got to look at the security cameras to each room to see where everyone is at a certain point of the night, or out your window. If you turn the light on outside to see the window outside your door, when they're there, shut your door.
This is giving me like anxiety just listening to it.
It is anxiety driven.
No.
And then you got to remember things like you got to check on, if you don't check on Foxy enough or too much, he will run for you. So if you look at Foxy's little Pirate Cove thing, he will be there most of the time, but he's slowly creeping out, looking at you. Aww. And then when you see a sign in at his booth that says "It's me," he's not there. He's running down. Don't look at any more security cameras. Shut your door, and you will hear a banging on the door. And basically, the gist: these robots, they tell you, the security guy in the beginning, the phone guy tells you that these robots, animatronics, view you as a robot without a skin.
Oh shoot!
And so they want to find you and shove you into a robot that doesn't...
to like make you, to give you like a skin.
To give you a robot skin.
Oh, so they have good intentions.
They have good intentions.
They have good intentions. To be nice. They just want to like include you in their little group.
Yeah, they're trying to include you. Far out. It's a funnier game if it was that way. But they say like, if you get shoved into a suit, because of the exoskeleton that's in there, it will crush you and your eyes will pop out through the eye sockets. And
like they just want you to be included, but they don't realize the repercussions of including you is death.
They're death. They don't understand this. But the actual story...
told them that.
The actual story is, spoiler alert, there's a murderer in this whole sphere. We call him Purple Guy. And this murderer has been killing kids since day dot. And these kids' souls live in these animatronics.
Oh god, they're in the ball pit, aren't they? The kids are in the ball pit.
There is a ball pit in
Oh god, the kids are in the ball pit, guys. I don't know what's happening. They're in the ball pit.
The kids' bodies are in the animatronics. So it is always hinted that these animatronics, people don't like going near them because they start smelling and they start oozing liquid, which is probably from their corpses. So they're saying that after a while these animatronics get smelly, so they don't really wash them.
Well, they can't wash them because they're animatronics, and they have like corpses in them. So.
So they're like, don't get close to these animatronics, they're quite gross. They're
just decorative only.
Yeah.
They just have to look pretty.
These kids get shoved in them, then they say like the reason why these animatronics go after adults is because they view them as like adult that killed them, which is Purple Guy. And Purple Guy slowly gets hinted. Scott Cawthon did a really good job in these games to leave subtle hints that he turned this into a too big a franchise. Because we were just counting through how many games there were. I think Matt Pat has single-handedly run his whole channel on Five Nights at Freddy's lore, because I can't get into it, because I dropped off after 3. I didn't mind 4. I came back for 4. And then I dropped off until Sister Location came out. I really enjoyed Sister Location because you actually moved around in that game.
You weren't just like sitting at a desk with like 2 screens and a window and...
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. You went around to different segments and it was actually pretty cool.
So it got a little more like Phasmophobia, where you could like explore the land a little bit.
You're on
more.
a path. You're on a path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you like the game guided you. Hey, now we're going to the server room, and you had to like go through a crawl space to get there. So
yeah.
it was still very platformy, one-dimensional. It wasn't more like an open worldy style game until Security Breach came out recently, and that was when people told me about Five Nights at Freddy's. My brain thought Security Breach. I thought the game that's just come out. I thought, yeah, you were a person that wandered around with a torch. No, Security Breach was the most recent one. Big studio did it, because every single FNAF game up until, I think, Sister Location was single-handedly made by the one guy. So Scott Cawthon made all these games by himself. He wanted to be a game dev since forever. And I think he used to make like Christian games, and people said his characters in his game looked like creepy animatronics. So he just went,
He's
I
like,
can
okay,
do
let's
that.
just roll with this then.
All right, let's fuck off religion. Let's go make
Shove
some
corpses and some animatronics. I'm like, good guys.
dead kids and some animatronics.
Jesus.
This is great.
I like the jump.
Yeah. It was an interesting jump. I wouldn't really look into the guy now. I think he's done some pretty shitty things.
No, not again.
Yeah. I think the J.K. Rowling effect. But
Jesus.
at this point,
We'll just
the
leave it at
franchise
that
has
then,
outgrown him, and it's been passed on
It's
to
its own
bigger
thing
studios.
now.
It's own shape
yeah.
now. Yeah, I hear he's not a good fella. Please feel free to correct me, but he's not a good fella. We've managed to avoid TikTok spoilers.
To a degree. I mean, I don't know. I get them on my TikTok, but I don't really know what a spoiler is for this movie. So if they've shown something that's a spoiler, it's gone way over my head.
I think I've only just seen Thirst Traps for the main guy.
Oh, Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah, I've just seen Thirst Traps there, and I'm just like...
yeah, I've been getting them too. It's uncomfortable.
He's too young.
We know him when he was like...
Bridget Terabithia.
No, he was so no.
Like, you are baby to me.
Like, too baby, can't do it. Nah.
No.
Just stay away from the swingman and everything's okay.
Yeah. It's just like seeing Robert Irwin TikToks. I'm like, no, that's
so
Australia's
cute.
child.
He's so cute.
So what's your understandings of FNAF?
Okay, my understandings would be bare minimum. I know the basics, obviously, from like TikTok and trailers from the movie that we've watched recently. I know the fans are chaotic, I want to say, like comparing them to Swifties chaotic for a part of them.
Yeah, you know what? You're on par. You're on par. Yeah.
I know that it's a classic game in video games, like Markiplier and I want to say like PewDiePie. Like that whole
PewDiePie
realm
played it a
of
bit.
like
The big
streaming
three
and
played it.
YouTube.
So Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie. And,
yeah, I have a very like basic knowledge. Like, I know the animatronics are bad, and that's about it. Like a very basic. I can go in, watch a movie, and not be like, what the hell's going on? But like lore wise and what to expect, I have no idea. I'm not expecting an intricate lore dense thing. I am expecting... I don't expect that at all.
I'm expecting influences to content creators to make an appearance as cameos, because I know Markiplier was supposed to be in this movie, but Markiplier is making his current movie called Iron Lung right now.
Yes.
So he was...
he's busy.
He's busy. But I know Matt Pat from Game Theory makes an appearance.
I did know that.
Yes.
I did know that.
Thinking there might be some appearances.
Okay.
From the trailer, so we did watch the trailer. So it looks like, this, when he goes into, so his name's Mike. That's a common thing. So Mike, I know it's gonna be Mike. Don't know who his sister is. I'm not too far into that.
Is Mike Josh Hutchinson's character the security guard?
Yes. And then that police officer that knocks on the door, her, I'm pretty sure that's Vanessa.
Okay.
So Vanessa is
I need like a chart of like who is who
No,
and like a whole like breakdown and
because this movie's
family tree of everybody in the background.
Oh, for the games? Yes. For the games, yes, it's insane. But I don't think this one's going to go as in depth. I think it's going to diverge because the game's lore is just so in deep.
Like there's too much to shove it into like a 90-minute movie.
I think it's just going to be a campy fun romp because it's PG-13.
We love those. So we're not expecting a gory movie. We're not expecting a deep thought movie. We're not expecting... I don't want to say great things, but I'm expecting a good time.
I'm expecting an interesting, fun time.
Yeah.
I love that the Henson Company is behind all the animatronics. Like, they're all practical.
Yes, I do like that.
When I saw the trailer, I thought they were CGI just because of how vibrant and big they were.
Look, it's filmed so pretty. Like, the lights in it are like...
Yeah, but it's all the Henson Company. Yes. So they're the masters. Springtrap, which I didn't tell you about, is in it. So...
Oh, he was mean Freddy. That's the one...
Well, Bonnie. So...
Bonnie.
Yeah, so he's like a golden Bonnie. So
okay.
In Five Nights at Freddy's 1... there's this reference to Golden Bonnie, which is a discarded, Golden Freddy, which is a discarded yellow gold Freddy suit that you see in the background. If you stare at it for too long, it comes at you.
Oh, Jesus. Nope.
Yeah, that's it. And then there's always hints of a Golden Bonnie, like a golden color Bonnie the Bunny. And we find out later on, I'm fairly certain, but the fans can correct me because, yes, once again, my lore knowledge is like 50 to 100 MatPat videos ago. So my understanding is Golden Bonnie was actually Springtrap. Now, they tell you in the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's that before they had animatronics, they obviously had people in suits. And then before they had people in suits, they had, after that, when they started going to more of an animatronic thing, they had like a hybrid called a Springtrap suit kind of thing, or a spring suit, I can't remember the real name. And it was like this special suit that people wore that still had like mechanisms and hinges and pulleys in it, but if any water got in it or if they moved it a certain way, it would like reverse bear trap the people inside.
Jesus.
A character called Purple Guy who wears the Springtrap suit. A whole lore behind that about who Purple Guy is, and oh my god, it's insane. People will analyze pixels in these games and find out so much.
So like FNAF fans are secretly Swifties who overanalyze everything.
Like so much lore. And then there was like books that came out that said they're not canon, but there was too many things to make us
like
join the dots that made me go, we can say that this is this bit.
They're saying it's not canon in case there's like a loophole, they're not responsible for it, but they're still like, if it isn't though.
Yeah. So Springtrap's definitely in it by the looks of that yellow golden suit with the purple bow tie. So that makes me go, that Springtrap. Purple Guy is definitely making an appearance because your main antagonist is always Purple Guy, and then obviously you have your mini bosses, which is the animatronics, but then there's more a tragic story behind that and the kids. And then Mike, but I don't know who his sister is.
I've ever needed a kid to be something. If it's something to do with the kids in the suits, I guess I'm going to go with my lack of knowledge. They need something as like a motive for the kids, and they're gonna want her to join their little creepy ball pit kid army thingy.
Well, to give you an idea, so I just feel like I'm spoiling so much. So like,
this is a spoiler review, guys.
I know. So Purple Guy, there was the people that made this restaurant, there were two people behind it, and one of them was Purple Guy. There was Purple Guy and his other mate. Don't ask me for the names, I can't remember it. They started these restaurants together.
Is Purple Guy Matthew Lillard?
I don't know.
What if he's secretly Shaggy and Scooby-Doo is behind the entire thing?
I don't know. Okay, look, let's stop speculating.
I hope Scooby-Doo's in this.
Let's stop speculating.
We need to watch a movie.
We need to watch it. We need to watch a movie. Let's
Alrighty.
get our cheese and dip and let's watch a movie, and we'll come back. We're going to watch it right here. We've got it right now with us, and watch the movie. All right. We'll see you guys.
We'll be back.
We'll see you in like, what, 90 minutes? Isn't it? Well, how long is this movie?
Oh, I don't know, 90 minutes, but I guess in podcast land, it'll be like
see you in a second.
2 hours later.
Okay, so we're back.
We're back.
Five Nights at Freddy's was
interesting.
a movie.
I think.
We'd like to bring to attention, we're now getting really deep into the movie and it will be spoiler territory from now on. So if you have not seen Five Nights at Freddy's, please mute the podcast, don't listen to it, exit out of the window, go see the movie yourself. Then come back, then hear our opinion, then send us hate mail. It's okay, we understand if you liked it. We thought it was a movie. Anyway, on to the podcast.
We have opinions and thoughts.
We have many thoughts.
I have concerns. And I'm a little disappointed.
I'm glad I saw it with someone.
I'm glad you gave me expectations.
I'm
and
sorry.
you explained the law beforehand.
I sat here going, I'm going to have to edit out all the spoilers I told Kahlee. I feel like I've ruined her experience for
And
the movie.
I'm like, thank God you told me, because otherwise I would have walked out of that theater so fast.
I'm so happy you saw it with me.
Oh my God, that movie.
If it wasn't for you speculating next to me, I'd be like, oh God.
Oh no. I felt bad because I was talking the entire time like, what is happening?
I was like re-googling stuff that I said in the beginning. Okay, yeah, I got things wrong. But I thought Mike was like the evil guy. No, Michael, not Michael Afton. It's William Afton.
I mean, you got majority.
I'm gonna correct myself.
Fine.
Well, because I'm remembering there is a game called Sister Location. At the end of the Sister Location, there's like a flashback, and it's like, Michael, I found her. I'm going to put her back together. And I was like,
Michael,
Michael,
your movie
Michael.
still is not great. Do better.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Look, it had its good moments. It really did. But to me, it was like Batman vs. Superman. It was trying too hard to appease both the new audience and the already won audience.
See, as someone who didn't have any idea walking into that movie, if it wasn't for what you had told me, we already said, I was so confused the entire time. Like, I didn't find it user friendly.
No, the pacing was really off. Like, it wasn't building much.
It was slow, and I got bored. Like, there was a point I said to you, I'm bored.
You did.
I did.
You
I was like,
say.
I am bored. If we weren't recording, I'd be like, I'm done with this. I'm on my phone. I walked away. I've made dinner.
At first, we got really confused with the little girl. Is it Allie or what was it?
Abby.
Abby.
We like Abby. Abby's
We like
cute.
Abby.
She's
Abby's
adorable.
cute. We got really confused with Abby as is she's the main guy's Mike's daughter or sister.
Yeah,
and then the fact that it
yeah.
was his sister was a little extra confusing because considering the whole
He's
background plot line that they throw at you.
older, but then also it's like, in the like in the past, and then the brother was kidnapped at one point. But then the whole like child plot, which made sense with the lore that you told me of the kids were in the robots, but then also why was Josh Hutchinson's lost brother such a big deal? Like, his whole focus was just that. Like, that's all he did the entire movie was like, headphones, nature sounds, Nebraska.
Headphones, nature
that's
sounds,
it.
Nebraska.
And I liked him, like his character, the idea of him, and like he had like good ethics, and he tried to help his sister, and like it was nice, and he had like good intentions. But I'm just like, dude, you're boring as hell. Schmidt. He never even said Schmidt, where he's like Mike, and he just like looked at his file and was just like, Didn't even say Schmidt.
No, it didn't even say Schmidt. Okay, this is where I got confused. So in the games, Michael is known as Michael Afton. And then there's William Afton. And they seem to have diverged of that. So Michael Schmidt is supposed to be Michael Afton because in the games, Michael Afton comes back as Michael Schmidt to work to try and destroy what his father has done.
Oh, so they didn't give a name to leave that
But there's been, they didn't really mention the dad. They just said the dad couldn't handle losing the mother.
That's all they said. Like, that was...
Okay, that could be movie 2, actually.
I mean, it's a Blumhouse that made a shit ton of money. There's a sequel coming.
Well, they've definitely left it open, I will say, for what
2 or
happens
3.
in Security Breach. So what happens in Security Breach heavily features Vanessa.
Okay.
So Vanessa was the main character in this.
I did like Vanessa.
Yeah.
I did like her. Like, she was suspicious when she first came, and I said to you, I was like, is she a red herring, or is she just like actually the villain? But I don't know. I'm still, is she the villain or is she not the villain? She's a grey area.
She's a grey area.
She's a grey
I'll keep
area.
that, yeah. So I thought in the game Security Breach, Vanessa has like this villainous character side profile version of her, like called Vanny. And I thought they were going to go down the Vanny route because at the end of the movie, she's all like, I can't go help you. It's nothing like that.
It's too hard for me.
It's too hard for me. I can't do it. I'm like, oh, okay, because she's worried she'll turn into Vanny. All right,
that's what I thought when you get the allure. I was just like, oh, okay then. Like, she knows something's up. You know, it's a bad thing. She knows it's not going to go down well or pretty.
Yeah.
She's just avoiding the whole situation. And then it's like, oh no, you kind of...
She could have gone the entire time. She was just like...
Just kind of set up Hutchinson and then off you go. I did like her character though. Overall, she was one of my favourite characters.
She was great for actually proceeding the plot line.
If it wasn't for her, again, it would just be Hutchinson and nature sounds.
Oh, yeah. The whole... He was living his PTSD... was hard, was struggle. I get that. I don't want to invalidate it.
When they introduced the whole storyline, I said to you that was the thing. It was like a real case, and like a family watched like their daughter get taken away, and that'd be horrific to watch. Like that would be a horrible thing. And then it just kept going and going and
just
going
watching him
and going, and I'm like, dude, I get it. It's sad. Can we have something go on now, please? It's a movie.
Watching him be fatigued and bloodshot-eyed, apparently the entire movie. Well, for 3/4 of the movie, was dull. It was so dull.
But he tried at least.
He tried.
He had good intentions.
He played a great brotherly kind of like role.
Just boring.
Just boring. How they transitioned from calling the aunt in as a babysitter, I was like, where has this come out of left field? And there was also no addressing of the... missing people that we see in the trailer.
Yeah, that was a big plot. Like there were a bunch of kids that were referenced a couple of times in the movie in like Hutchinson's dream. I can't remember his name. What was the actual character's name? He was that boring. I forgot his name.
Mike Schmidt.
I'm just gonna call him Hutchinson from now on.
Yeah.
So Hutchinson's like going in his dream stance. Like all these kids who were like, which I did like, they were representing each of the animatronics that you pointed out.
Yes.
So you had there was Bonnie, there was Freddy, is it Chica?
Chica, yes, Chica the chicken, yeah.
And then they had Foxy, who's my favorite. I like Foxy.
Foxy's your favorite, yeah.
I like that. So each kid was representing a missing kid who also represented animatronic because the kids were in the animatronics. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I am learning as we go. This is like we watched this movie 5 minutes ago.
I'm proud of you. You're doing well.
Okay, cool. But they didn't go into those kids. And that's what confused me because I was like, who are these kids? If I didn't know the lore of this is what happened. And it was such a slow-paced, boring movie.
Yeah.
I zoned out so fast and all that stuff.
I feel like there could have been more, like in Five Nights at Freddy's, and even in the first game, there's a lot of hints like discarded newspaper articles, like kid gets kidnapped, bite of 87, restaurant closes down.
We need a newspaper montage scene.
There was none of that, or even just picking up newspapers.
Nothing.
And like in Five Nights at Freddy's, these were plastered on the walls, and you have to zoom in to see.
I mean, they had like the poster on the wall that you said was the Five Nights.
The Celebrate poster. Yeah, but that was just a little ode to it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just a little thing.
The setup I was a bit disappointed with for people who were non-Five Night original fans. Like newbies, essentially.
Yeah.
Green. Went in totally green, no idea. Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. But then also, we're probably not the demographic.
We're not the demographic. No,
we are
we're too old for the demographic now.
Oh, yeah.
We're not 14.
Yeah.
I feel like the movie ratings things have changed, or maybe I've just gotten old. Because I'm just like, PG-13, the babysitter full on got chomped in half, and you don't see it, but you see it in shadow. Like, you see it in a very gory shadow montage. That she gets chomped on by Fredbear. And then there's a little bit of blood, not a lot.
Not a lot. I think we were discussing in it. I think it was one of those movies that they filmed a lot more, I get the impression.
Yeah.
And then somebody behind the scenes possibly, as someone who has like no experience in this field though.
Yeah.
They were like, no, too gory, tone it down. Because
yeah.
I know normally they say like a PG-13, for example, would be like minimal blood and like one F word, but this was very like more graphic, I would say, than a normal one, but like not a whole lot of like language.
yeah.
It was a very
I just think the dark
walking
themes.
the line, dark themes, entryway horror. I would call it.
Like it had a lot of dark themes, like not a lot of blood and gore.
I've pulled up Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Because I was just curious, because you were saying audience scores.
Yeah.
It got a 30% for critics.
Yeah, that's a given.
They're never nice.
We never
They're never
seriously,
nice.
no.
It was pretty much just like loaded with Easter eggs. It's a fan service movie.
It is.
Audience score, surprisingly, is 87%.
Okay. Look, I'm hoping, as much as that movie was a movie, I am hoping for a movie 2.
There will be a sequel. 100% there will be a sequel. 1000%. The gross box office, I'm looking now for the USA, was 1,013 mil. Yeah.
It would have gone nuts.
It went
absolutely
nuts.
nuts.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be a sequel. 100%.
Yeah. So, okay. What did we like about the film?
Okay. I did like a few things about the movie. I liked Foxy.
You like Foxy?
I did Foxy. I liked
favorite?
Foxy. Foxy was fun. I liked Foxy's little like hook hand, and I liked Foxy's little like, I don't know, like animatronic chicken legs. I found Foxy fun compared to the others.
Foxy's a fan favorite. Foxy's good.
Yeah, Foxy was
like
a pirate,
Foxy.
and the whole time, because I had the song stuck in my head of the Ailstorm song, like your pirate ship can eat a bag of dicks.
And you're wearing
it's in my head. I know, I'm wearing the shirt.
You're wearing
right now.
an Ailstorm shirt
I
now.
am. So that's why the song is in my head, because I'm like wearing the shirt. So I saw Foxy and I was like, yeah. So I liked Foxy. It was a very relevant thing at the moment. I think that's really the only reason, to be honest, because it reminds me of a song.
Yeah. Okay. No, you like Foxy, but that's okay. Foxy is quite commonly liked. So yeah. What else did we?
I like Matthew Lillard, which I think will be a very common opinion against people. I did call pretty quickly
that he's William Afton.
The outcome of that, he was way too keen to get this guy into security. Mm-hmm. I know, but then also, like I said to you, we don't cast Matthew Lillard and stuff to not be a bigger character. Like he's Stu and Shaggy, and like I said to you earlier, it was, you combine Stu and Shaggy and you get this person. Yeah. Like the way he was delivering lines, I'm like, it's just like Scream, but with a hint of Shaggy.
It's getting to a point when Matthew Lillard is just being hired into these horror movies because of his status. So he's just doing some weird hybrid of everything that he's doing.
I hope he had fun.
I think
he had fun. I hope he had fun.
He was in a whole bloody golden Springtrap suit.
Oh hell yeah, he had so much fun. Like he's at the point of like, I can be killed by this. This is great. Another thing I really liked, it was a pretty movie where I did like the way it was lit. I loved the animatronics. I liked how there were the moments of like, is this CG or are they actually there? Yes. They were really well done. They were like fluffy and felty, but like worn out. And as someone who's like worked at a theme park before in the past, like that is exactly what they look like when they are worn out.
Yes. No, you would have experience because you worked for theme parks before.
What they look like. That was it, kind of, really. Yeah. I mean, I like the way it looked. They had a ball pit reference.
They did have a ball pit.
We did like that.
We did laugh at that.
The bodies aren't in the ball pits, guys. They're actually in the animatronics. They're not in the ball pits.
I mean, Abby was in the ball pit for like a split
Maybe
second.
it's their storage space until they get them in the animatronics.
Well, they
like, you got to put them somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's like they're Esky, but not.
For our non-Australian audience, an Esky is a cooler box. Anyway, continue.
You keep your beer in it. And your small children, apparently. But no, I did like it. Like overall, it was okay. I'm not in love with it. I'll recommend to like my cousin who's like 16 to go watch. I think it's a good movie between like entryway horror between like 10 to 16. Go watch it. Not super gory. A couple of good-ish jump scares, I'd say. But then this is also coming from like you and I, who have been quite seasoned in this genre for a couple of years now. So we're desensitized to a lot of these things. But we can still appreciate a good movie for younger fans. We are not their target demographic at all.
No, because if you want to talk to me about a horror movie about a kids franchise, I'm going to say Banana Split.
The Banana Splits did it better, not much better, but a little better.
Banana Splits, well, because they got to be a bit more gory than that.
They did, actually. It was the gore that did it better.
The acting was not
good. Oh, the acting was not good.
No.
That's where Five Nights did better than Splits, was the acting and the way the production of Five Nights was better, but Splits had it over for gore.
I felt the acting was interesting in Five Nights at Freddy's just because there's that whole tension. So like the main guy, Mike, has a younger sister. So Mike Hutchinson apparently has a younger sister called Abby. He used to have a twin brother. Twin? Or younger brother. He used to have a younger brother who got abducted. Now you know where the story's going if you know FNAF.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so Mike had a brother called, Gerald? No.
Who?
Mike. What was
Hutchinson.
Hutchinson had a brother. What was the brother's name?
Oh, shoot. That forgettable. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
But they pushed that story so much. Like
I can't remember.
They played that scene like almost every 10 minutes. Anyway, okay. So, Mike had a younger brother. And when they were kids, brother got abducted. And it has plagued Mike's thoughts ever since. Since then, his parents have had another child, which is Abby, his younger sister, which I also find weird.
Like much
because
younger.
the mother ended up dying, and then the father couldn't handle it, and we don't know what's going on there.
He just left Abby with Hutchinson, and then the aunt's kind of back taking custody randomly.
Yeah. So now we got this big conflict because his aunt's coming in going, you are a drugger because you're taking these sleeping pills so you can remember your brother's abduction and find the killer.
But the one thing... So I'm going to interrupt. Was I didn't like... Normally, I'm not one to be the whole... they focus on like, Abby has a mental illness. And then the doctor, I will give full props to the doctor who was like, she's not mentally ill. She just likes to draw pictures.
Yeah, no, this
that
is
I did not like.
This
I
is
was
where
like,
I'm getting
she's
to.
little. Let her draw the pictures.
This is where I'm getting to. Because
Okay.
this whole plot that the aunt goes... She's not well. She just sits there and talks about imaginary creatures and friends and draws. How is that normal? And I'm like...
Her mum just died, her dad just fucked off, and she's with her older brother who's apparently stalking a bunch of animatronics randomly at night.
Well,
No shit.
I think for a kid her age, having a wild imagination and drawing all day is pretty ordinary.
But she's young enough. She's like, what, 8? Maybe?
6?
Maybe? She's young. Like, it's not like she's, like 13 and being like, you sat my imaginary friend.
Yeah, no, she's just a kid. So I'm like, that's pretty ordinary for a kid with creativity. But anyway, that whole aunt storyline was just weird.
I'm glad the aunt got it. But did she, though? When, like, we saw in the movie where, like, the aunt was, like, on the floor, because, like, Freddy, obviously, like, my first thought was, I wonder if there'll be a kill graphic on this when Dead Meat does it. Because they don't actually tell you she's dead. It's just very heavily implied, but they don't actually show you anything apart from like her feet.
Yeah.
So I am very curious to see what their opinion is on this.
See, one thing I'm really happy about that whole there's a scene where Golden Freddy, was he golden or was that normal Freddy? Because he was missing an ear and he had a blue eye. I think that was
no idea. Someone who doesn't know the law, it was not user friendly.
I'm gonna rewatch that because I'm pretty sure that was Golden Freddy. Because when she went back to the restaurant, Freddy appeared back on stage and he was all in one piece. He wasn't missing an ear. He didn't have a blue eye.
Maybe.
So I think that might have been Golden Freddy.
I have no idea, but that was like my issue with it. Where if it was Golden Freddy, how the hell was I meant to know that? To me, it's Freddy. He's got his cute little hat on and he's in the back of the cab and it's like, cool, they're just gone back to the police. If that was... I don't know these things.
See, this is why I'm really happy that they didn't go the plot line of what happens in the books. In the books, they burrow underground.
See, that would be more entertaining than what I just watched.
It would be so stupid. Bunch of heavy animatronics digging holes in the ground.
But could you imagine, like, Foxy with his cute little, like, claw, like, like, that would be more entertaining than what we watched, unfortunately. Like, give me that. I want to see the animatronics, like, there with blueprints of, like, the city sewer system of, like, okay, how can we get from, like, the pizza joint to, like, Hutchinson's apartment, bring back this, like, 6 or 8-year-old or something like that, and then, like, no one notice in, like, 10 minutes.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles do Five Nights at Freddy's, apparently.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm like, oh, man, see, that to me would be more interesting. I'm not wrong though, am I?
No, you're not. It's actually pretty entertaining. Mm-hmm. So, like, I liked they didn't go down that route in the film.
They didn't.
Once again, I loved the practical effects. I thought they were great.
Oh, they were amazing. That I could not fault to a T.
No, practical effects. They looked great. I found it very funny when they tried to look When they tried to make the animatronics look less menacing, they just went, okay, no more red eyes, and we got to bring their eyebrows right back.
I enjoyed that. Their eyebrows be so angry. Then like Freddy's just like cha-la-la, cha-la-la.
Copyright, Vanilla Splits game.
Oh man, see, that's the issue with this movie. My brain's like going back to Splits.
Yeah.
And I think purely it's two reasons. Splits came out beforehand, and I also watched it like 2 nights ago.
That's fair. That's fair. See, because when I played the original FNAF, I'm just like, God, these things look terrifying. How did people find them cute and marketable? How did they make that believable?
Oh, they're horrifying.
But at the same time, we're from Australia.
We don't have that.
We want to look at any childhood cartoons of ours, like Mr. Squiggle,
HR Puffin stuff.
Oh, that's our parents' time.
Mm-hmm. So was made to watch it.
Yeah, my parents made me watch it too. HR Puffin stuff. What else did we have? We had like that Lift Off. We had a show called Lift Off as kids, and it had like this blank face doll that was a main character.
It had Brum, like the car that would just like grunt all the time.
Oh, that's a British show.
Was that British?
Yeah, Brum was British.
Oh, I learned something new tonight.
Yeah, I loved Brum.
We have Bluey.
Well, we have Bluey now. We now have cute ones.
Now we have cute ones. We went through the horrific stage.
A lot of our childhood shows were just terrifying. But yeah, if you ever want to get like nightmare fuel, look at the Australian kids show from the 90s called Lift Off. There is a doll in it. I think it's one of those like blank face canvas dolls.
Oh man.
And it was the main character. And then there was like the Backpack Squad that were like their friends, and it's just gross and terrifying. But anyway, they made the animatronics look slightly less terrifying. Animatronics to me terrify me regardless. They did make them look friendly, even if they just had to put their eyebrows back.
I did really like the animatronics. I think they did a good job with the the wear and tear of them, the way they sat, the fabric. Like, obviously, like they went to Disney, I guess, or someone, and was like, this is how they wear. Cool. Now they're murderous.
By the Henson Company, the same people that did Labyrinth.
Oh, are they?
Henson's a Muppet company.
God, Labyrinth is a weird movie.
Yeah, but Jim Henson made the Muppets. He know that
the Muppets are weird.
I know, but that company knows.
They know how Muppets wear.
They know animatronics.
Oh man,
left, right, and center.
they freak like nah. It's just like PTSD of when I was at work trying to like clean around. No.
Yeah. So no, the Henson Company made all the animatronics. So
were good.
They are the pros. They know what they're doing.
Damn you, knowing what to do and how to fuel my nightmares.
Yeah, well now you just have to think about Labyrinth now every time you think of the Henson Company.
That's fine. I'll go home to Charles. He'll keep me safe.
Charles Libre. Yeah,
yep.
Sure. So yeah, I loved the animatronics. So that's one positive. Vanessa was a pretty cool character. I think her scripting was so off. I thought all the scripting was really off. The pacing of the script just did nothing for me. There was no build up to me, or just no like progression in story. It kind of just went, now we're in A, now we're in B. There wasn't that much.
I think apart from the whole Abby possibly like the losing custody of Abby thing, there was no motivation. The only motivation Hutchinson had to go to work was purely to keep custody, which even then, again, like spoilers, you've been warned, he gave up. Yeah, like willingly he gave that up. Yep. So it's like, cool, you gave up that, like, you gave up the custody, unfortunately, which he did later regret.
Yeah.
But he even stopped that. Like, it's, why are you there? You know, this is creepy, it's freaking you out. In a way, it's a good thing. Like he said, like, I can't look after Abby.
But even the progression to that didn't make sense. They just had this really great time at the restaurant. Yes, she got shocked because she touched something she shouldn't have touched.
Yeah, and then...
But then he just decided immediately after that, oh yeah, better give her over to my aunt.
Yeah.
And then, better give her over to my aunt, and then work back in this murderous animatronic place.
It was weird. Like, if he was like, I can't look after Abby, go to your aunt, like, you better look after there, quit the animatronic place. And then maybe go back because there's a stake where they kidnap Abby and that's how you have to get her back, maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think he called the aunt over to immediately adopt Abby, because he called the aunt over to babysit, and when he was leaving the house, the aunt looked at him and went, we have to talk about when you come back.
I think I zoned out a bit in the more like talky, slower parts where I was like, I'm actually bored. And I probably missed a lot of key plot points because of it.
Why don't, like, I don't know, here's an idea. Contact your careers counselor and be like, this isn't working out. can I have another job? Now, that careers counselor, which is obviously the villain, will come back and go, this is the only one that's going to take you right now. Then you go, okay, I'm going to go find a new careers counselor.
So if Shaggy is your career counselor, run for Hall L, and unless there's a talking dog next to him, then take the advice of the dog. It's probably smarter.
Long story short, I liked the animatronics. I love the practical effects. The layout of Five Nights at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, I loved it because it reminded me of the old Pizza Hut restaurants with the stained glass.
Yes.
I was getting very nostalgic for that.
It was nostalgic for like 80s, 90s kids like us.
Yeah.
I liked it. The setup, it was pretty. It was nostalgic.
Yeah,
it was
very pretty
filmed
set design.
Well,
yeah.
set design. It was like amazing.
I liked little odes to the other FNAF games, like Balloon Boy, who always creeps me out.
I didn't get Balloon Boy for a while.
That's
I was like,
okay.
is he meant to be a thing?
He's an Easter egg for FNAF 2. I will definitely say that. Because, like, he appears in vents and it absolutely annoys the living shit out of me.
Okay.
Stuff like that was pretty cute. I think they did well with what they could to remain within a PG-13 rating.
Agreed, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
The script and the character developments just weren't the most believable. Yeah, wasn't the most believable.
Maybe the second, if they get a sequel, they might take the feedback of this. Like, it was a good movie overall, like set design and animatronics wise. Maybe they'll take the feedback of everything was great, apart from like A, B, and C.
Yes.
They'll take that back and then learn. And that's what Blumhouse I found do is they take feedback on sometimes.
Yes.
Not all the time. Sometimes. Big franchises they tend to.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about Halloween though.
No, oh god, no.
Yeah, sometimes.
And my absolute favorite thing that they did, I wish it was gorier, but it wouldn't be a PG-13.
No, I agree.
Was when Matthew Lillard, when William Afton was in the Springtrap suit, and they had it activate,
like the knockoff John Kramer suit, and I'm like, where is the Saw music to this?
because there is a scene. Anyone who has played the games knows the scene when William Afton jumps into the suit and it activates because of the water that's dripping, because water sends it off.
I thought they used the water to like electrocute.
Well, in the Springtrap suit, there's no electrics.
Oh, because it's the spring-loaded
Spring-loaded. That's why the cattle prod didn't work for him, or
See-
the taser or whatever. It didn't work for him.
Oh, and then they brought that back because I had like the Dolly one in the room, and then
Sex
she
Baby,
had
yeah.
the broom, and no.
Yeah. So
We watched this movie 10 minutes ago, guys.
Yeah, so those suits aren't electric. So that's why the cattle prod and the taser that he uses on the other animatronics doesn't work on Springtrap, because Springtrap isn't animatronic. But I loved the scene when the suit activated and killed him, and he started convulsing.
Is this why he was called Springtrap?
Well, the suit's called it's called the spring-loaded suit. So, it's
Yeah,
called the
so
Springtrap
is that
suit.
why
Yeah, yeah.
he's called Springtrap?
He's called Springtrap.
Full circle.
Yeah, full circle. So a couple guys called Springtrap because he's locked in the Springtrap suit. And there's a whole game about it in Game 3. He's the main antagonist in Game 3 because they it's set years in the future, like now, and they've boarded up a wall where Springtrap is, and but this whole like.
You just spring through it in the future,
All
like,
these-
I'm back, bitches!
All these people come to take over the land, and they want to use it as one of those walk-through horror houses.
Oh, now, see, that would be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So the whole game is they make this a walk-through horror house, but before they start, they're still setting up. So you play a security guard to watch over the place whilst they're still setting up. And then one of the days they go, we found one. It was behind this brick wall. And not knowing that that's Springtrap, and he will come out and kill you.
I'm going to do a movie pitch right now to Blumhouse. It's based in Australia. There's a theme park that do horror nights, and you need 2 security guards to look after your mazes in the meantime. But they're non-IP, so you can't get into trouble. And then they come to life.
So this is totally not Movie World.
No, not at all. Because there's nothing else in Australia that does this, I think. Apart from the knockoff one, like in Helensville.
Screamophobia. We have Screamophobia.
That's my
Anyway.
pitch to Blumhouse right there. We
Okay.
need this movie to be made. Thank you. Bye.
So, what did we not like about the movie?
I didn't like the pace.
No, I hate the pace.
I didn't like the pace. The movie itself as a concept, I'm all for. I wasn't a big fan of the pace. I found it a little boring. I did wish there was a little more gore, but then also I do understand like that's how they had to keep it as like a PG-13 entry horror to youngins. But also that could just be me being older liking
I kind of wish it wasn't
blood and guts.
PG-13.
I wish it wasn't PG-13.
It doesn't have to be R-rated.
No, I don't want saw gore. I don't want the F word every 2 seconds. I mean, I agree with you. Where it's like,
It didn't need to be Terrifier levels. I don't need gratuitous tits. I don't need anything like that.
I just would have liked a little bit of blood. I kind of would have liked to see at the opening scene where you had the first security guard and the face goes on.
Yeah.
That's in the trailers. Like, not even a ton of blood, just a little bit.
Yeah.
I think would have kept me entertained. I just found it kind of slow and very boring. And
yeah, look,
I'm trying to be partial where I'm not the demographic. I'm not the person who would normally go watch one of these movies. I didn't know much of the lore, so I'm trying to be fair in that. I didn't find it a user-friendly movie.
No, first-time user experience did not.
No, I wouldn't recommend. I think out of like everything, but I would recommend to like my cousin who's like 16, so like 10 to 16 year olds, like want to get into horror, like go watch this movie. It's not super gory, it's not super jump scary. You'll like it or you don't, and I think that's a good way to see if you enjoy horror. But I'm not gonna go recommend it to like yourself or people more our age unless you want a dumb movie, which even then I could recommend so many other dumb movies.
Yeah, if I just wanted a dumb gratuitous horror movie, I was just like, yeah, Cabin in the Woods, or what did we see recently?
We watched that Totally Killer. That was
good just for something mindless,
easy, dumb, good to watch. We should do that next, actually.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed
that. Was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But I like going into mindless dumb, expecting mindless dumb.
Yeah.
If I go into something with lore, I want my lore to be simplified if I don't know what I'm going into. But not to a point where you feel people who do understand the lore are being babied.
Yeah.
I know it's a very hard line to do because you're not going to keep everybody happy, but it needed more explanation.
Yeah. See, I really, I loved Matthew Lillard as Purple Guy. I thought that was pretty fun.
Yes.
I just thought his scripting wasn't that bad. That was actually pretty bad, sorry. His motive was barely even...
What was his motive?
They never said his motive.
He was the killer of the kids who put the kids in the suit. But then the whole place was shut down. He had a weird sentimental tie to it. That's why they had the security guy only there at night. Yeah. Not during the day that we knew of. Yeah. And then he just randomly decided to start killing again because Hutchinson randomly brought his little sister there because his babysitter randomly was hired. Like, the whole thing's just a coincidence.
The whole thing, the whole thing, yeah.
It's too much of a coincidence. I think that's my thing.
There was no explanation into Purple Guy's motive.
No.
Which really annoyed me.
Like, every time a kid comes into that place, are you just there waiting? But then, like, she was the first one in, like, how many years? But how did he know? I don't know. I might have missed something though too.
No, I think there wasn't much explanation in motive. Like, yeah, in the games, I think it was just explored that
he was just there.
He just liked being a psycho that killed kids, or he wanted to find something about eternal life kind of thing, combining these kids' souls with animatronics. I think there was something all about that, but they didn't explore it at all, and I think that annoyed me a bit much.
Well, the amount of dialogue they had of like slow talking explanation, what they could have added it in that somehow.
Yeah, at least in like a flashback to Vanessa's childhood.
A flashback. It needed a flashback.
Yeah.
It needed a flashback. Yeah, like, it wouldn't need much just to get that little bit of extra, like, this is what's going on. Like, not much at all. Like, it was so close. Yeah,
because even that final fight scene between William Afton, Mike, and Vanessa, they just kind of shouted the plot line at each other. And I'm just like, what? She's just like, I can't let you do this anymore, Dad. And he's just like, your job was simple. Lure them in and stop them when they get too close.
But that's technically two jobs.
And I was like,
I did like that.
What the fuck was that?
It wasn't bad. For like a beginner's horror movie, I'm going to give it like a 6.5 out of 10. That's being generous.
You're nice.
I am. As a seasoned horror fan, 3.5, 4, pushing it out of 10.
Yeah, look, entry-level horror, no, you know what, no.
I'm very nice with my rankings. I tend to be I see the positive and all, and I don't like being cynical of movies. And I'm like, everyone deserves a chance, and what I don't like, someone else could absolutely adore. I didn't like it.
It's a generic horror movie, even though it is PG-13, but I've watched some pretty good PG-13 horror movies. I'm looking at you, The Ring.
Oh, yeah.
With that as my basis of comparison, I'm going to give the movie a 5. As a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, I'm definitely not a connoisseur. You'll notice all the errors I said in the beginning of this pod, and I'm going to keep correcting myself to the end of my days. 6. out of 10
Okay.
as a FNAF
That's
fan.
pretty good. That's good.
But that's because I'm hoping they come out with a second movie and rectify everything.
I think they will. I'm positive they will do better. Hopefully. If the 16-year-olds settle down in the theaters, maybe.
I just find it so weird because I really liked Megan.
Yeah. Megan was good.
I actually really enjoyed Megan. And
that's Blumhouse, though. They finance a bulk of horror. Some are Crash, some aren't Crash. If you go through all like their films that they have done, there's one every 5 that's done really well. But they give the directors and like writers opportunities that other companies wouldn't have, which is what I do like about Blumhouse, where you do get the ones where you're like, what the hell is this? But that was that director getting the chance to make that movie that they want without them interrupting too much. So I do like that.
I wonder how much Scott Cawthon, the original creator of FNAF,
oh god, don't even think about that. You make yourself so mad.
So what would we do to improve it?
Blood. Not much, just a little bit.
A little bit more gratuitous blood.
Bit, and a little bit more simplification of an explanation.
Yeah, like you don't have to say the plot lines to us, but have a bit more explanation. I agree, more blood, more gore. And when I say I want this to have a higher ranking, I don't want it to have a Terrifier level of ranking gratuitous anything.
Because I do enjoy those movies.
Because, you know, as soon as they slap an R rating in it, the first scene's going to definitely be teenagers sneaking in to get it on and then they get murdered. I need it to be fun, campy horror. Like, I don't care if it's an M rating, M15 plus, perfectly fine. Great.
Like, Final Girls.
Final Girls.
Yeah. Totally killer.
Totally
Cabin in the Woods.
I loved anything like Fear Street.
Fear Street. I love the second one, the 1978 or 87. The night thingy with the Jason. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
The second one I liked.
Something like that. That would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm. I like, personally for me, I'm a fan of blood and gore, and I am partial to the torture porn because that's like the side of horror I grew up on in the early 2000s, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Which I know is not great, but that's what was my introduction to horror was that time. Okay.
That's why I'm so glad we're not talking about the exact same thing over and over.
Yeah.
If we had same opinions like that, this would be a very boring one-sided pod.
It would be a very Rob Zombie heavy pod.
Ew.
Yeah.
Continue talking.
Doesn't mean I like blood and gore and that in every single movie. I like the dumb and the campy, and I like the zone out stupid. Yes.
Like, I'm not saying give me a don't fuck with the Chuck kind of...
I don't want to see the Chucky all the time.
I don't want to see the Chucky, no. So I've been playing the latest Dead by Daylight PTB that has Chucky in it, and I love that they got Brad Dourif in there, but when you play as Chucky as killer, he says, like, he drops a Chucky line.
Don't fuck with the Chuck.
You kill someone, you mori someone, he says don't fuck with the Chuck.
That's Child's Play 3 though, technically.
But like he's very sassy and will say things, but like I'm not saying in the FNAF movie
they don't need that.
Drop slogans every 5 seconds. You don't need to do that.
You don't need to do that. You just make it your own, little more... Dull isn't the right word to use. That's not the right word.
Make it a bit more believable. Like, it was... Like, why is he continuously going back to this workplace after he...
But why didn't he just keep it open?
So, after this, before we started, we had theories about what was going to happen. So my theory was, since he has to take up night shifts, he's going to take his little sister with him, and she's just going to camp out back. We've all done that with our parents' workplace one way or another. She's going to sit there with him and go to sleep. And then, I don't know, he's going to look one way and she's going to disappear. And then now his motivation to come back to work every day is to find her. But there was none of that.
He had a babysitter. She just unfortunately got eaten.
Yeah, the babysitter. But he did have to take his sister into work with him. And then they had this whole, like, party scene, like Babysitter's Club style party scene with the oh, don't get me started when they're building the tent, the
oh
fort.
My god, but they were so cute when they were like, they had the tables and all the animatronics that came and they helped out because they're friends, because they were nice at one point. And she was like, we're gonna build a fort, it's gonna be great, here's my plan. And the animatronics, like, they built, like, building the base of it, and she's like, I think it needs to be taller. And then they were like lifting the tables on top of each other to like make it taller.
Yeah, they made this really weird, campy, happy montage.
Cute, but it was very out of place.
Yeah,
I thought they were killer robots.
Yeah, they had this weird montage because it's always in the storyline that the robots, the animatronics, don't kill kids. Obviously, they're kids themselves. They don't kill kids.
They just eat the kids.
They don't eat the kids. They don't think it's all purple guys shoving them into suits.
Well, that's unfortunate for them, isn't it?
Yeah, so the animatronics have never gone after kids. But yeah, there's this whole campy, happy scene when they discover the animatronics have like free will. That the little girl wants to build a pillow fort with all the tables, and they all go, yeah, and then they just have this happy music, and they start building, and I'm just like,
when's the Banana Splits music starting?
What am I watching?
It was a little weird. I think they tried to take a lore of the franchise and the bulk of it. It wasn't just like the idea where they're like, we were inspired by it. It was like, we're taking the looks and the style and like everything. But their way of like simplifying is we're gonna make it super campy, but still give you no explanation.
And the one thing I hated the most, the biggest thing I hated, so the big way of how all these animatronics, they follow Springtrap. Springtrap knows best. The yellow rabbit is their best friend to the end. Heidi ho, ha ha ha. Like they all just think he's the bee's knees because he was the one that murdered them. But apparently they don't remember this.
They have to be reminded by like fan fiction drawn on a wall.
Yes, there was this whole fan art on the wall of kids' drawings, and all the kids' drawings had like pictures of them holding hands with the yellow rabbit. But as soon as they removed this drawing from the wall and the little girl put her one up of like showing that the yellow rabbit killed them all, they went, yes, he's the enemy, and they all turned on him, and I just went,
where is your loyalty?
What? The fan art is the way?
It was cute how they introduced her drawings were like the way to them, I guess. Like they had the little heart. It's Bonnie the rabbit. Yeah. She had the heart on a bit of paper and she gave it to Bonnie, and I think that's how they were like, oh, they're friends. But it wasn't really introduced apart from that. And then all of a sudden there's like the fan art wall, and it's like, now what? Like you knew she drew. She gave Bonnie a picture. And it didn't come back for like convenience. It was like convenient. Yeah. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think they could do better with it?
More plot.
The plot.
The plot. I just want a higher rating. They don't need to drop F-bombs every 5 seconds, but have a bit more people speak, definitely. I understand the movie was set in the 2000s, so it was kind of fun pointing out things that we remembered from our childhood.
Yeah, that was fun. The radio at the start of it, we're like, why is it so boxy? Then you're like, oh, it's set in the 2000s.
The phones, stuff like that, when we realised, oh, why can't they just do this? It was the 2000s. We didn't have that.
That's a lot of movies now going back to like...
No one had mobile phones
80s,
like that.
90s, 2000s, when nobody had access, because these days it is just get your phone.
Yeah.
So tons of movies have been set back in the past to stop that, I feel.
A lot of things weren't documented the way they were. So like with the part when Vanessa was like, yeah, you didn't lock the door properly, even though she watched him lock up, because she was there. She came with him that night and just kind of warned him to go away. And then like side plot line, the way the aunt is trying to get custody of her niece is she's like, I'm gonna sabotage my nephew's work by hiring these people to break into his workplace, sabotage the place. It'll look like he was negligent, and he'll lose his job. That's where I'll get my niece. However, these people break in and they get absolutely killed by every single animatronic. Anyway, that day though, that they break in, just beforehand, he closes up and Vanessa's with him, and Vanessa helps him close up and says goodbye. And so she knew all this, but
it's a little odd.
It's a little odd. It's very odd. The pacing
could just also be us being very cynical, picking up on these things, because we did watch it with like the point to analyze it, and then to be like, I didn't like it, so I think I'm picking up on every single little thing I didn't like too much, but there could have been more I liked. I'm just kind of being biased, maybe.
They definitely, to me, they combined FNAF 1 and FNAF 2 a bit. So I didn't mind it. But once again, I enjoyed the death of Springtrap, even though that's spoiler alert, not his death. He will come back. He does say he always comes back.
I always come back.
I just find it hilarious that he says, "I always come back," when this is his first human form. Like nothing's happened to him yet.
Like, you haven't come back yet. You need to come back before you can say, "I always come back."
You need a track record.
One more death under your belt before you can say that. Teenage horror. That's it. That's how I can describe it. It's
early teenage horror.
Easy teenage horror.
It's a horror movie for 13, 14 year olds.
It's not an us... I'm going with the word millennial here. millennial horror.
It's not a millennial horror.
It's not a
millennial horror. It's probably...
I hate that word, but that's it.
It's probably not
that's what we are into, I guess, more so.
It's not even the generation before millennials. It's not even Gen Z.
Oh,
Gen Z.
It's just young horror, entry horror.
What do they call themselves now? Gen Alpha. It's their horror now. Yeah. The Gen Zers are all like in their 20s.
See, I just hear Gen V, and I'm like, are they gonna be superpowers?
No, Gen Z are all like in their 20s now.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, I am an old lady.
Yeah, we are old ladies.
Dang it.
That's why we're cynical.
Old and cynical. That's okay.
That's all right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Don't tell us otherwise. We can't handle it. We'll cry.
We're millennials. We're used to being bullied. So just, we'll cry. Just accept it.
We'll just cry in the corner and keep coming back every second week.
We're tenacious criers.
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty, well that's
it for today.
I guess. Yeah.
I wish it was happier, but
I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. I'm glad we did this one as our first one to come back to because it is a fun one.
I find it a bit silly that we took a FNAF movie so seriously, but also we didn't. We just wanted a more cohesive plot.
I think we asked too much of it.
We asked too much of it, but then we've said in this podcast, we liked Killer Frequency. Oh, sorry, not for Killer Frequency. That's a game.
What is that movie?
Oh, that's actually a game, and it's a really cool one.
Okay.
But no, we
liked
Totally
Killer.
We liked Totally Killer, and Totally Killer was camp. Like,
it was
really
great.
Camp.
Maybe we'll do that one.
We'll do one
day.
next. Let's talk about Totally Killer
That'll be a fun
next.
one next.
Yeah, we'll talk about Totally Killer next.
Yeah, but that's a fun one to analyze. I think
we won't be able to blind react, but at least we'll be able to watch it together.
That would be fun.
Because we've both seen it, and we need to,
Okay, because we both saw it separately, but recently.
Let's watch these movies together and then recap it, because this is pretty interesting. Anyway.
Okay,
then.
All right.
We're going to go eat dinner now.
I'm hungry.
So, thank you all for joining us tonight. We had a pretty fun time doing this on Five Nights at Freddy's. If you have any recommendations on what films we should do next, we'd love to hear them, especially if they're video game related.
Oh God, no.
Okay, actually, yeah, you know what? I think this actually ties into my disappointment, because video game movies have been doing so well recently.
They have not been doing well.
This one just took it back a few steps, because I loved Mortal Kombat.
Oh, true. Okay, that had gore in it, though.
Yeah, it did have
gore in it.
And it was filmed in Australia, so
there
I was pretty proud about that. But anyway, so thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll see you next time. Try not to die.
I guess, yeah. Bye.